Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dr. Pai's astrology channel. And this is Nav today. And I'm here with Kṣaṇāti, and we're going to be discussing upcoming transit of Rahu Ketu in September. So welcome, Kṣaṇāti ji.
It's such a pleasure to be here with you, Navji, and
Thank you.
Jyotish community. It's such a blessing to be with you and to help support all of us during this troubling time through understanding the chart. And this transit of Rahu and Ketu going into their exalted position by Parashara's definition is very significant. We have to discuss it from a general perspective, and then we can discuss it from how it will be affecting people's ascendants and everyone's different signs. We're going to do another video on that, Nav and I. But we're going to be discussing how it will be affecting all of us. What are the karmas that are affecting all of us of this energy, and what can we expect for society and things like that. So it'll be very interesting. And I think we'd like to start with chanting to Rahu and Ketu. First, we'll do a Rahu chant, and I'll read the translation, and then we'll do a Ketu chant. I'll read the translation, and then we'll get into our discussion.
Okay.
Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Samhita Garbhasambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Samhita Garbhasambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Samhita Garbhasambutam Samamruha Pranamamyaham. Ardakayam Mahaviryam Chandraditya Vimardanam Samhita Garbhasambutam Tamrahu Pranamamyaham. Om Bram Brim Bram Saharahuve Namaha. 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 Om Aim Hrim Rahave Namaha. Om Haim Hrim Rahave Namaha. Om Haim Hrim Harave Namaha. Om Haim Hrim Rahave Namaha. For those of you not well versed in Sanskrit, it translates as the great warrior that divides the sun and the moon in half. He is born in the womb of Samhita, which was his mother, and we bow down in devotion to the north node, known as Rahu, who commands the direction of all things. And may we honor and respect that which controls the direction of all things.
Beautiful. Thank you.
And it was my pleasure. And now we'll do a Ketu chant. Ketu's translation's a little scarier. Palas Puspa Sankasham Takara Graha Mastakam Radram Radrakam Goram Tam Ketu Pranamam Yaham. Palas Puspa Sankasham Takara Graha Mastakam Radram Radrakam Goram Tam Ketu Pranamam Yaham. Palas Puspa Sankasham Takara Graha Mastakam Radram Radrakam Goram Tam Ketu Pranamam Yaham. Palas Puspa Sankasham Takara Graha Mastakam Radram Radrakam Goram Tam Ketu Pranamam Yaham. Om Kram Krim Kram Saha Katave Namaha. 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 Om Hrim Shrim Kitave 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 Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. So the translation reads as follows. Red like a palasha flower, who makes the starry-eyed constellation set. He is terrible and awesome in his appearance, and we bow down in devotion to that who presents obstacles. We bow down to the force of the universe, which presents obstacles to us.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ksanati. That was beautiful.
And then moving to presenting obstacles, let's do a quick chant of Ganesh on removing obstacles.
Yes.
Clear the space, and then we'll dive into it. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamasravastamam Jaistarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shinbanu Tibihi Sita Sadhanam Vakratanda Mahakaya Soryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakayeshu Sarvada Siddhi Buddhi Shakti Sahita Shivan Kṣaṇāti Pataye Namo Namaha Nirvignam Kuru. Hari Om, Om Namah Shivaya. So blessings to all the gods and goddesses as we dive into this session together.
Beautiful.
Shall we start with Rahu or Ketu, Navji?
We can start with Rahu.
Well, first we'll discuss that right now we're still experiencing Rahu in its Gemini position and Ketu in its Sagittarius position, which many believe to be the root position or mula trikona or comfortable positions for these planets. But that's not their exalted form. According to Parashara, even though some astrologers say that actually the nodes do not have planetary dignity, the great Rishi Parashara believed that the dignity was that Ketu was exalted in Scorpio and that Rahu was exalted in the opposing sign of Taurus. So we're looking at that upcoming transit, and that's going to start in September. So the exact date of that is going to be on September 22nd. During the afternoon, late afternoon on September 22nd, it'll transition into Scorpio. And this will last 2 years, all the way into 2022. All the way until 2022 on April 12th. They will switch out in 2022. So a lot of times when people talk about transits, the reason why you have to cover this one so generally is because, yeah, you want to know how it's impacting you, but this is one of the longest lasting transits that we experience in Jyotish.
Right.
And so we live in the Kali Yuga where Rahu and Ketu are dominant over this planet. So in a time when they go into their exalted position, it's a very powerful time for this planet. And there's a lot of potential positives there. And there's a lot of potential destruction there. And we're going to cover it from a general perspective, and in the future cover it in more specific signs, for each sign. But we have to know how it's going to impact us. Now, do we say we're starting with Rahu?
Yes.
So Rahu goes into Taurus. So why is Rahu exalted in Taurus? Well, Taurus is the sign of material wealth. See, Rahu gets what it wants. So when you put that energy of material wealth, getting what you want together, you get material wealth. And with material wealth comes also lots of other pleasures. Pleasures which sometimes are not so sattvic. And there can be a very tamasic nature to this conjunction of Rahu and Taurus. Very, very tamasic nature, which is very prone towards materialism. As far as society, we're looking at a capitalistic mindset. And it's about Rahu doesn't want to let go of what it has. Ketu does, but Rahu does not. So as it attains money, as it attains power, as it attains fame, that causes the head of Rahu to grow larger. So you'll see over this period people who have egos, and their egos will grow and their money will grow, and their popularity will grow, and their fame will grow. But let's call that ego a balloon, and eventually that balloon will pop.
Right.
And that's more about the exalted Ketu, and we'll talk more about that, how the balloon of our ego can pop once it reaches its highest point. And they say that the taller the tree, the bigger the fall. So we all must be careful during this time of the Rahu and Taurus. Stay focused on our spiritual sadhana. Stay focused on our spiritual practices. Not get lured into materialistic desires. It doesn't mean don't enjoy life, don't enjoy movies, don't enjoy concert. But also it's going to be harder to do that now with the changes since the virus and everything. So there are these changes in the world that are happening that are setting us up for kind of a new way of relating to each other, and with Rahu and Taurus, it's much more about what do I have? What can I have? How can I get what I want? And because of its exalted nature, it usually gets what it wants. A good example of this is the US President Donald Trump. He has a Sun Rahu conjunction in Taurus in the 10th house, the house of the career. So the exalted Rahu energy in his chart brings him all of the fame and power and success, as well as how poorly he is talked about, how unpopular he is, how unfavorable he is, how many mistakes he makes. So still, it's very much this exalted Rahu energy, which will actually be a Rahu return for him. So that makes me nervous about the elections. Even in the U.S. elections, with the Rahu return coming for Donald Trump, that could be quite positive for him. But it's about material wealth, so it could mean he retires from presidency and focuses on making money and back to the celebrity status of what he was initially before he was president, which is probably what he would have stayed as.
Okay, interesting.
To avoid a lot of negative karma. And now he has accumulated a lot of negative karma he must work through. And so we must be careful during this Rahu Taurus time not to accumulate this type of karma of attachment to power, of attachment to fame, of attachment to money. It doesn't, so it's things on the simple level we have to work on. How do we respond when someone compliments us? What does that do to your mind? And how do you respond? And how do you not let that compliment inflate your ego, allow it to grow, and yet still show appreciation to the person for the compliment they have given you?
Right.
This is a very powerful energy of the Rahu and Taurus. When it's very mature, it's very honorable, and it is, once it does have lots of power, but that power is more social or communal or spread, because Rahu's the outsider. So it wants to help the other outsiders.
Right.
So there is a chance as well, on the positive side of things, of an outsider with great charisma, bringing some change or bringing some popularity and just charismatic people in general, especially if they have Rahu and Taurus and Ketu and Scorpio in their chart, like some people, they might feel this, surge in their career that they never expected. Surge in their finances that they have not expected. And that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the trouble is how the ego grows with this.
Right.
For everything we possess, then, okay, I own this thing, so that means something. Or I have that title, this means something. or I have this label, but it means something. That's all Maya. It's all
Right.
illusion. You know, you could say Shri 1,000 times and you're still a human.
Yeah.
You know, you could call someone Shri 1,000 times, but they're still going to be a human being.
Right.
So there is this time of also, okay, you're battling the forces of humility. Can you grow in your success and your wealth and your career and your power and your fame without it inflating your ego?
Mm.
That's a real karmic journey of the Rahu and Taurus vibration.
Okay.
And when Rahu starts to go through Rohini Nakshatra,
Mm.
it'll enlarge the success to the highest possible point. So these people can either be very successful, humble, spiritual, beautiful souls,
Mm-hmm.
egomaniacs.
Right. And then we are speaking specifically if someone has Rahu in Taurus, wherever it is, and then in specific nakshatras, right?
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
But it could be like this for someone who's in Rahu Dasha
Okay.
or Rahu Antardasha,
Okay.
or maybe they're a Rahu ascendant, or maybe they're a Ketu ascendant. They'll still have very strong impact on them.
Okay. Interesting.
So other things about the Rahu and Taurus vibration is, okay, so in this world, there's this illusion called money.
Yes.
And when Rahu is in a Taurus, it is prone to accumulate it.
Okay. Right.
So it has to value it as it accumulates it. But then Ketu is also exalted on the other side, saying that, oh, money has no value.
Yeah.
Money is not important. And Rahu says, I want more money. I want more money. So a lot of people will be fighting. It's greedy. It's a greedy time.
Right.
It's a time for people to be greedy.
Mm.
But it's also a time, if they're on a spiritual path, to break that greed.
Right.
You know, and I talked about helping outcasts, helping the minorities. And you're seeing that in our social system right now, that minorities are being attacked.
Yes.
So, you know, I think there's some kind of energy of, you know, it's got to be equal power too. It's got to be equal power to all minorities, with all races are one race.
Right.
One race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some positives, but there's also that ego inflation we have to be very careful of. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, mean we could be seeing a lot of ego inflation if we don't act with humility.
Exactly. So there could be a lot of misconduct by gurus,
Interesting.
especially if they have that kind of position in their chart or something. Unless, of course, it's in a like nice position like the ninth house or like something like that. But like in general, like it could be a position where it's like, okay, this person was once a guru, but now they're hitting the hard times.
Right.
So then they go back to cigarettes and Coca-Cola.
Right.
And there are many worse things than that, but those are just two things.
Right.
That makes a guru less of a guru. You see a guru having a Coca-Cola and a cigarette, you're going to be like, huh.
Right.
So yeah, I think that covers both sides of it. Just a little bit of a preview. Any questions before we talk about Ketu for a little bit?
No, those were very interesting points you brought up, Kṣaṇāti. Yes, we can move to Ketu.
Okay, cool. So Ketu is exalted in Scorpio. Why is Ketu exalted in Scorpio? Scorpio is the most transformative sign. Ketu
Right.
is the most transformative planet. So you take the most transformative constellation and combine it with the most transformative planet, and you get the most transformative energy possible.
Right.
Now, transformation can either be a wonderful thing or a horrible thing, because we can either change for the better or change for the worse.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
there's karma, but there's some level of free will where, okay, this planet is pushing us to be our best self, but that doesn't mean we have to listen. We can
Right.
fight against the energy of the graha. Of
Right.
course, this will make our life incredibly turbulent and difficult.
Mm.
But as Ketu goes into Scorpio, it's all about the transformation of the individual consciousness
Mm.
so that it becomes a collective consciousness,
Right.
so that we all think the same similarly about things. There's not so much argument. There's
Right.
not so much debate. But because Ketu is in Scorpio, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, there's a lot of indications for war.
Okay.
So I talk about peace and I talk about war. And I don't know, I get chills. I'm getting chills
Yeah.
because I'm afraid of war
Right.
with this transit.
Yes.
I don't know which countries will be involved. I'm not politically informed in that way.
Right.
But it's something that's, you know, if you look back at the last time this transit was happening, that was all the Iraq and Afghanistan stuff.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So we're going back into that energy.
Mm.
So let's hope a Democrat becomes president. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. So with this energy of Ketu and Scorpio, though, with that transformative nature, Ketu is a tail which has no head. It's said to be blind. So it's going through this radical, powerful, ultimate transformation
Right.
without necessarily being aware of the transformation that it's going through.
Right. So you mean it can be good or bad because it's headless?
Right. So you may transform into becoming a more aggressive person.
Hmm. Interesting.
And then you have to work on balancing that energy out with pitta pacifying lifestyle.
Right. Because Scorpio is ruled by Mars, right? So
Yeah,
aggressive
Ketu is also pitta planet.
with the planet, right? Wow.
So we have, it's very pitta. Although Rahu in Taurus is a mix of earth and air, so you get a little bit of a mix of the other doshas too. But that Ketu in Scorpio is the fierest fire you can imagine in a chart, just like a sun in Leo.
Right. Yes.
So we talked about that practically, and we talked about, you know, the potential for war, and Ketu in that Scorpio sign can also represent destruction. Now, destruction is not a bad thing. As we all know, Lord Shiva
Yeah.
is the Lord of destruction. There's no
Right.
creation without destruction.
Right.
And so there must be destruction in order for positive creation to manifest.
Right.
So I don't know what exactly will happen, but the older generation of people that are racist, that are bigots, that are the old kind of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
their lives are in danger.
Mm.
And the coronavirus is already taking that population partially out, starting to,
Right. Right.
specifically that generation that is
Right.
racist, that was born in a racist way.
Right.
You know, even though later generations might have had it to a lesser extent too. You know, it
Right.
never gone away in society, if anything, that's been proven to us.
Right.
Civil rights are really key, important part of this transit. And it's a transformation of, okay, are you on the side that we are all one here on this planet? Are you on the side that we are separate? That there is something that's different that makes one of us better or worse than the other? Or are you on the side that we are all one and we are all equal? And there's no difference in the color of our skin and the color of our eyes.
Right. Yes.
Even one of my great teachers said that Haile Selassie said, until the color of a man's skin is no different than the color of a man's eyes, there will always be war on this earth.
Hmm. Interesting.
And that's what we're fighting for: equality
Right.
for all genders, for all races, for all sexual orientations. And
Right.
it's a battle. It's a fight. It's a
Right.
fight against the older generation, but Ketu's helping wipe them out.
Right. Maybe more
Oh,
humanitarian work, like being equality and humanitarian
oh yeah,
energy.
definitely.
Right.
Only doing things like repairing our planet that we forgot.
Right. Yes.
You know, like right now the planet is in good shape.
Yes.
So if we could all just kind of redirect our energies to trying to protect our planet, it'd be pretty good.
Right.
And when the coronavirus hit, pollution went down in every single country.
Absolutely. Yes.
The earth can breathe again.
Right. Yeah.
So very powerful time as we feel this transit of Ketu going into Scorpio. If this is in your career, if this is affecting your family,
Mm-hmm.
Ketu is also the moksha karaka. And this always gets heavy to talk about. But this is a time of death,
Hmm.
especially for the elderly.
Right.
But if there's war, for many more.
Hmm. Interesting.
And that would be tragic. But again, you see these cycles of time and what happens during them. So
Right.
and a feeling that, okay, it's possible. Now, also on the other side of it is our attainment of moksha is activated. All of us can get closer to experiencing a glimpse of the moksha,
Right.
especially if you have K2 ascendant, 7th house, 4th house, 10th house, K2 Mahadasha, Artadasha, K2 return, half return.
Hmm.
All of these things very auspicious during that time, especially if it's directed towards the career of the person.
Okay, so for example, having it in 10th house,
Yeah,
right?
second house, 10th house, and 6th house, and with 10th house definitely. But the thing is you'll see a transformation in their
Okay,
career. So that could
right.
either mean a job change
Hmm.
or responsibilities are different, but some
Right,
type of promotion in which all the K2 cares about, all the K2 cares about is that our soul is in alignment with our highest spiritual frequency so that we can attain the moksha.
right,
So if
right,
that's thrown into your career, you know, it's going to be a very successful time for your career if it's the correct path for your life, if it's your dharma.
right. If it's aligned with your highest purpose already, then you'll do really well. Otherwise, it'll transform it. Right,
110%. Perfectly.
right, right. And that is if someone's uh, transit Ketu goes in 10th or their natal Ketu is in the 10th, same energy will come up, right?
Or even if Rahu's in the 10th
Right,
or Ketu's in the 4th.
right,
So, or if maybe they have a Ketu Venus conjunction and the 10th house is ruled by Libra.
okay, interesting.
So then
Right,
the Ketu gets brought into the 10th house by Venus.
right,
So we
right,
have to look at all these more subtle aspects too. I look at that as well when there's conjunctions with the nodes, that
right,
nodes carry their energy to those signs that the planet rules.
right. Just to get the complete picture of the transit. Right,
Yeah. Um, Other things on this moksha path that are significant. So those that are strictly focused on a spiritual path, living in ashrams, this is very powerful time for you. Go deep into your meditation. Go deep into your sadhana. Go deep into your pranayama. Go deep into these dinacharya of spiritual practices
right,
and devote yourself to them. And you
right,
may get a glimpse of moksha, of pure contentness, pure serenity, pure ecstasy, pure happiness, and which is the cure to everything that comes from the Rahu.
right,
It's the cure that everything that comes from the Rahu, of the wanting and the needing, the possession, the money.
right. That's the antidote to the Rahu
Yeah,
situation, right? Going to Ketu in Scorpio.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And when Ketu gets too fiery, Rahu's the antidote,
right.
you
It's
know?
beautiful.
So, if the person's too fiery, you get that exalted Rahu energy and you go jet skiing
Jet skiing.
or something like that, some adventure sport.
Right,
But yeah, there's a lot of potential outcomes for this period.
right. What do you think about the coronavirus? Do you think we'll be out of this with this transit of Rahu Ketu?
Well, the thing is K2 could burn it up,
Right,
but the old generation's still here.
right.
So until they're gone, the virus will remain.
Okay, interesting.
Until racism is gone, the virus will remain.
Wow. Mm,
I believe.
right,
I think it's symbolic of racism.
right,
And so we see these changes happening, this transformation, and it could be eradicated.
yeah,
And also racism could be partially taken out of this planet. It's already
Right.
starting to change. Racism is becoming lesser.
Right.
People are becoming truly informed about what racism is because they're ignorant of it.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a very powerful time. And I look forward to discussing its various signs with you as well. How it will affect each lagna.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Those are really profound information, Kṣaṇāti, and bringing a lot of different perspective and the points. So I look forward to doing the different signs. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, to
Thank
all of our viewers, namaste, and thank you so much.
you. Thank
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we should do a quick closing chant.
you. Sure.
Om Sahanau Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryang Karavavahai Tejas Vyas Tamastu Ma Vivashavahai Om Shanti 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 Om